mother is a nurse, so it's kind of in my blood. I started in the intensive care unit, driven by a constant hunger to learn more. That sparked me, that led me to go to nurse practitioner school, and I haven't looked back ever since. I was left learning by proxy how to manage this practice. Before I knew it, I was handling negotiations for contracts, the bills that needed to be paid, and then it was just like, you'd be the perfect person. You're already doing it. Might as well just buy it from me. What if I don't make enough to pay for overhead?
What if all the patients leave?
What if all the patients leave? Can I really do this without a physician? Can I turn this vision into something real? It turned from, can I do this, to I can do it.
I could do this.
We spend the most money in healthcare, yet we have
Terrible outcomes.
The worst outcomes.
For the amount we spend, we shouldn't have these outcomes. Agreed.
Absolutely. Be patient with yourself. You won't know everything, but you can find the answers. So lean really into resources and networking constantly. Never underestimate where a conversation can take you.
Welcome to Unsung, the podcast powered by Duet, where we shine a light on the nurse practitioners who are breaking barriers, redefining healthcare, and proving that NPs aren't just the future. We're the now. I'm Dr. E, and in each episode, we'll uncover the untold stories of NPs across the country who are changing lives with their practices, making a real impact in their communities. And today's guest is a force, whether she admits it or not. Stephanie Sanchez is a family nurse practitioner with 15 years of experience and the founder of Ormond Family Medical Center in Ormond Beach, Florida. Her story isn't just about survival. It's about stepping up when no one else would. When COVID hit, every physician in her clinic walked away. Stephanie didn't. She ran the entire practice solo, kept it afloat, and proved to herself and everyone else that she didn't need a supervising physician to lead. When the owner retired, she didn't just inherit a practice, she protected a community. Without her, patients would have been displaced up to 50 miles for basic care. Now she's doing what many say they want to do, but few actually do, building a practice that listens. Stephanie blends conventional family care with a growing focus on peptides, functional health, and patient-centered options. She meets patients where they are and builds care around what they're really ready for. And oh yeah, she took her whole staff on a cruise. That's the kind of leader she is. Let's meet the woman behind it all, Stephanie Sanchez. Stephanie Sanchez, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's so good to see you.
It's so good to see you. Tell everybody where you're located.
So I'm located in Ormond Beach, Florida.
Okay, that's North Florida, right?
No, actually, it's East Coast. I am in a little sleepy beach town that has only about 34,000 people in it.
Wow. Okay, small town. That's good to know because not everybody associates Florida with small towns. So we're going to get to present day in a moment. But tell me, before you open up your own practice, what was the crazy reason you decided to even become a nurse practitioner?
So I think what led me to be a nurse practitioner is both professional and personal. So my mother is a nurse, so it's kind of in my blood. That's for one. So I started in the intensive care unit and driven by a constant hunger to learn more. I just kind of naturally climbed the clinical ladder. I moved to an educator position. I was educating neurological ICU and multi-system ICU. And then from there, I even briefly left the hospital and became a chief medical officer for an LTAC facility. Decided I was not management material. Went back to the hospital and joined one of their very first rapid response teams. And it was there that I realized I didn't know what I didn't know. Oh. And so working somewhat autonomously with that, but of course with strict protocols, I wanted to understand why I was doing what I was doing, just not doing what, I was not really good at, okay, they're telling me to
follow
do
the
this.
orders.
Right. Exactly. So ICU trained me to think critically, and I was thinking critically, not just to follow those orders. So that led me to go to nurse practitioner school, and I haven't looked back ever since. So
amazing. So then when you got out of NP school, you worked somewhere else? Who'd you work for? What'd you do?
Yeah, after I got an NP school, well, I am dual certified in critical care and family.
Okay.
So I have been of course, because I was always in ICU, I became a critical care, acute care NP first. So I did about 12 years as an NP in critical care, but still, that's kind of a specialty, and you
Yeah.
still didn't have a lot of autonomy. You still were a scut monkey, basically. Like you train the residents, and then they came and went. Now they're telling you to do the same thing, and it just never ended. So from there, I went back to school and got my family. And then I worked a little bit in hospice, and I worked in a medical office, to where I moved to now, and then did family practice in this little town. This office actually was owned originally by a physician,
Oh,
and
so
I
you worked
practiced.
for someone here.
Yes. And then
Okay.
he aged out and wanted to retire. And then he offered me the practice. And so,
Oh,
so it wasn't like I decided to,
it decided for you.
it decided for me. And I was like, because I never thought like, oh, I want to own a practice. Like it never crossed my mind. I never even knew I could do that.
But
Okay.
hold on a second. This is really important because, like, on the one hand, okay, it was kind of like the universe decided for you. But I just
Right.
want to take a moment for that. I never thought I could do this on my own. And I want to take a moment on that because I think that's true for a lot of women. And most NPs are women. We are not developed, raised societally to think that we can do this thing. Many of us don't even think of it as a potential. We don't aspire to it. And so it's really important that you said that you never even thought of it, but clearly your mentor thought you could do it.
Yes.
So clearly your mentor saw something that you did not see about yourself.
Right.
So shout out to Mr. Doctor over there. Thank you. I don't know your name, but amazing. We need you on the planet. Okay, so you wake up one day. Oh no, you had to be a moment where you went home. Are you married? Do you have a partner?
I'm married.
Okay,
Yes.
you went home to your husband and you were like, "What the actual f just happened? Should
Right.
we do it? Should we not do it?" Did you have a moment, or you were just like, "I'm doing it"?
No, it was like it was more like this is how the conversation went. You will never believe what Doc said to me today. He wants me to buy the practice. And my husband turned around and goes, "That's a great idea." And I went, "What the
What
hell?
are you talking about,
What are you
sir?
talking about?" Because my husband is also a nurse. Okay.
Okay,
And secret be told, he is 50% ownership of this business. He already had a background as an MBA in healthcare associate in healthcare medicine. So, or not medicine, healthcare associate, whatever, healthcare management. Yeah,
something in
something,
health. He was
something
helping humans.
management, right? Like how to, run healthcare businesses. So it was the perfect match.
Oh,
And
wow.
he's
So
like,
he's like, "Duh."
yeah. So he's like, duh, yeah, you can do this and I'll help you. I was like, well, I don't know anything about business. He goes, I do. And
Nice.
that's where it was like, okay. I said, oh,
Nice.
wait, let's explore this. Cause
Just take a
like I
moment.
said, yeah, you
Take it.
take a moment. And I said, I need to know and understand what I'm doing. I've got to feel, in order to gain confidence in myself, I've got to like study it till it's dead. So I grabbed every book I could possibly do. I researched it. I even crossed
I'm
into other.
laughing. I'm laughing because none of that helps. Am I wrong? Is that the
I,
punchline?
I, I think it helped. It only helped me because it made me feel like, okay, I can do it. But I still felt scared. Like,
Of course.
I still was like, I don't know if I can still do this. That self little thing, in your head
The
that goes.
the books, there's a lot of books. First of all, as soon as somebody writes a book, it's already irrelevant
Uh
in
huh.
this field, in business.
Uh huh.
Books are there and people write the models, but like no, nothing prepares you for the real life craziness.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
And even
so
now I'm on this other side where people always ask me now they know that I started my own business and how I started it, always picking my brain about, well, what do I do about this? What did you do about that? No matter, I find humor in that. No matter what I tell them, no matter how much I hold their hand, that's the only thing I can really do for them is to be there for them through it. because you have to discover it
You
yourself.
have to discover
You
yourself.
have to walk the walk in order to say, have your own aha moment and be like,
Yeah.
this is how you do it.
And sometimes, I mentor some of the starting practices, and some of them like, yeah, okay, let's just do it. They have like this pioneering spirit. Some of them are like really want all their ducks in a row. I'm like, sis,
Oh
there
yeah.
are no
Oh
ducks in a
yeah.
row. Sometimes it's not
That's
even
right.
ducks present. Sometimes it's a whole bunch of chickens. So like, it's like, that's just, if that's what you're looking for, this is not for you. This is
Yeah.
not for you. Wait,
Yeah.
so I have a question. So you say yes. Is there staff? Like, are you immediately in charge of payroll? Like, or is
Yeah.
it just you?
So, no, so this happened right after COVID, and the physicians that were in this practice left, and it was just me and the physician who owns it, and
So there's
and
no
we
front
had
desk.
no, we did. We had one person in front desk, we had all this, but it was the other providers that left, and he was already like 1 foot out to retire. So he, like as the owner, he wasn't even really here,
Yeah.
because he was, doing his other thing and running. He had some multiple businesses, but um, so so it was kind of me, and then I was left learning by proxy how to manage this practice. And I think that's what he saw, was that I was able to do these things. And I didn't even realize I was doing them. It was just the natural progression of a nurse to take care of everything, things that are broken, fix it. And so before I knew it, I was, handling negotiations for contracts, and I knew the overhead and the bills that needed to be paid and things like that. And then it was just like, hey, you'd be the perfect person. You're already doing it. Might as well just buy it from me. And it
Oh my
was like,
God.
but I still was like, oh no, there's got to be more to it, right? So,
Yeah.
so it was a blessing and a curse, because I bought a business that I already knew the books.
Sure.
I knew
Sure.
the problems. I didn't have to do any discovery. I knew what I was getting into.
What
And
was the
that helped
curse?
me.
What's the curse?
Well, the practice has been around for 30 years. There's been who knows what financing creativity he's done in the past. I didn't want to take that on. I didn't want to,
So you
and
didn't know if there was anything you didn't know.
right, exactly.
Okay.
And so what I did was I flipped it, because also the taxonomy code for the practice was a physician taxonomy
Sure.
code.
Sure. Sure.
So I did a creative thing where I bought the medical assets.
Yes. 100%.
Uh-huh. So
Yep.
that protected me that way. And then the biggest thing I did in this transition was, the one goal I had was not to change it for the patients. I didn't want the patients to feel it, because we already had, a patient panel of nearly 2,000 patients in this area. So I wanted to keep the same insurance companies. I wanted it to feel and flow like there was never a change, because the provider wasn't changing, the staff wasn't
Right.
changing. It was what was changing in the background. Even the building wasn't
So
changing.
then you slowly credentialed under your own name and then eventually closed it down?
Yeah, and I had to, it, it, I flipped it, the taxonomy to a nurse practitioner taxonomy code. It was called Orman Medical Center. Now it's called Orman Family Medical Center. So I injected one word, and that's a blessing and a curse too. So I might have, if had a, I do this again. Like, I think the one thing I would tell myself if I had to do this again would be change the name to something completely different, because it caused a lot of
It caused a lot
confusion.
of problem.
Yeah,
Let me
yeah.
pause there for anyone who doesn't
Okay.
understand why that's not causing a lot of problem and what you did there. Because in general, this is true. Like I've bought out practices myself also. For those listening who are thinking to buy a practice, you can't actually buy a practice because you can't actually buy patients. And
Right.
so that actually a practice doesn't have the same value as people think it does. So what you can do is do a deal on assets, do a deal on the building, do a deal on the photocopy machine.
Hmm.
And then you usually notify the patients or, and then you slowly, whoever wants to stay, stays, whoever wants to, right? Because you can't force people to stay on. And also, if you're buying it from a physician, to your point, I just want to make sure our audience knows,
Hmm.
um, the credentialing and the tax ID is all under his name. So you really have to set it up your own
Right.
PLLC, your own NPI. And I could see why not change is a problem because you put in the word family thinking, oh, it's going to be good for the patients. But I could see the paperwork coming in and be like, wait, is this the old one? Is this the new
Right.
one? Which is it? Did they just forget to put the word family in there? So it should have been like yellow triangle LLC. So you could be like, yes, this is not the old one. Yeah,
Right.
I could see where that
Yeah.
could be a headache.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So,
Um,
yeah.
oh, so that took, how long did that, I imagine that process took at least 2 years, less slow transition.
Yeah, it did. From the time that we said, "Oh, let's do this," to actually getting down to business and drawing up the papers and everything. Now, I have to tell you, this is a funny story.
Tell us a
I
funny
had to,
story.
yeah, this is a funny story. So, and you're going to meet this guy.
Can't
Okay.
wait.
Okay. His name's Kumar. And he was my guru. He was my consultant. He's a nurse practitioner too that has opened up a lot of businesses for physicians and for himself and stuff like that. So he's very knowledgeable in it. I hired him as my consultant through this whole process. And he did this mm, 12 classes, 12 hours of start to finish, how an NP can open their practice, going from capital acquisition all the way to the day you open your doors. And it was immensely helpful, immensely helpful. And then he held my hand and he like did a mock survey at my business and I would run everything by him. And so I said to him, I said, okay, let's do this. Like I'm one that like gets it done. It's done. Let's
Let's
get it out. I'm
go.
like, can we do this in 3 months? And he hesitated and he goes, uh, I mean, you could technically do it, but, and I kept pushing this 3 months, this 3 months. So, of course, I had this book of how to plan something in 3 months, and I was putting all my notes in it, and I like had something to do every single day. And I get to the 3 months, and I'm like nowhere near ready to open, and I'm like, oh, okay, let's just keep going. And you're right, it did
Takes time.
literally take a lot of time. I would say that it was like 16 months from the time that
Yes.
we
Because
started.
credentialing takes so long.
It does. It
Yeah.
does. And I don't know if it was a blessing or a curse. But I had to creatively what I want to call flip a lot of the contracts because I would start out with, first of all, they knew me as a provider because I had been in the practice for a
Sure.
number of years. So they knew how I practiced, and that was a good thing because they didn't want to lose me because a lot of the contracts were already value based or starting of value based. Um, and so I was driving those. I was the one meeting with them and they didn't want to lose those star ratings. So in some instances where their bylaws said a physician still had to be,
Yes.
had to be in the team or had to be the named medical director, I had to keep on a physician uh, to be able to sign those contracts. So I hired a physician as a 1099. And in that personal contract with me and the physician, it says what that role is to serve as that liaison person. Um, and so there were ones that welcomed me with open arms as an autonomous nurse practitioner because that's what they call us here in Florida is
Yeah.
autonomous,
Yes.
and we actually have non-autonomous and autonomous. So we can get into that in a different podcast, but um, um, and so that was a creative road in negotiating that,
Yeah.
and having to educate them about what a nurse
What an NP
practitioner
is.
business owner is. Like
Yes.
that
Is this
was
back
like,
how long ago?
this was in 2021.
Yeah, so I had to do this in 2014, and in 2014, it was like no one even knew anything.
Yeah,
A lot of education, not so much malice, just people just did not know,
uneducated, right?
uneducated.
Yeah,
And I like that you surfaced the timeline because many entrepreneurs, many people listening, if you're already thinking about it, you're the type of go-getter that likes to get things done, and then you come to a screeching halt in the land of credentialing. And I remember this. This is like 11 years ago. And I remember calling home with my wife and be like, I've never seen an industry move this slow.
yeah,
I'm like, how is this possible? How is this possible? How is it 9 months and I'm still not credentialed? It's like, and I just remember and now, of course, I've let go of all timelines.
Uh-huh.
in this sphere. But it doesn't matter how. That's why your mentor was like, well, he didn't want to
Yeah.
burst your bubble, but
Yeah.
you just hurry up and wait. You submit everything, and then they're like, you should have filled it out in black ink. Like,
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And that was the most biggest eye opener was like, oh my God, it's so much more cumbersome than it really has to be.
oh
Like, didn't you
God,
start thinking like, oh God, if I was in this role, we would streamline this process.
of
We would,
course. But I
but
think they don't want to streamline the process.
I know, I know, I
So
know.
so when you first started, you got through credentialing. What kept you up at night back
Mhm.
then? Back then,
All the what ifs,
like
just just the worries of like,
won't work out.
what if I don't make enough to pay for overhead? What if insurers won't contract with
What if all
me?
the patients leave?
What if all the patients leave? Can I really do this without a physician? You know, and can I turn this vision into something real? I
Yeah,
think that was the burning one. Like, can I really do
can
this?
I do
And I
this?
amazed myself as I went through this process. Like,
Yeah,
it turned from can I do this to I can do
I
this.
could do this. And that's really important because I think a lot of people think, they look at someone like you, someone like me, we've been doing it for a while, we have a certain level of confidence in what we're doing, and they think they need to look like that. We did not look like this when we
No,
started. We were
absolutely didn't.
absolutely, absolute buffoons. I don't even know you, and
Yep.
I know you're a buffoon. I was a buffoon. Like, we didn't know what we were doing. Like, okay, I'll sign this paper. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So, like, and then you figure it out, and then you do a look back, and like, oh, okay, I did that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. But
it's
I can
real.
remember the tripping and falling and stumbling. I
Oh
mean,
my God, I feel like I still do that, tripping and falling and stumbling. What I, it's how you learn.
yeah, that's
You,
true.
I think you have to
That's true.
embrace the errors.
Yes.
It's the only way. It's the only way to move ahead.
Yeah.
So you started with 2,000 patients. Are you still at 2,000 patients?
No, I'm a little higher than that now, and I just hired another nurse practitioner. Thank
Hey,
God.
hey, hey,
I'm
hey.
growing.
That's
And
a big
so,
deal.
yeah, so we're at just over 3,000 now. But yeah, so it's and we're getting new patients all the time. It's amazing.
How do
So,
people find you?
um, that is like my latest thing I'm trying to conquer, that hill of marketing, because I was so busy with
Surviving?
navigating, surviving, and figuring it out, right? That I never did put any energy into marketing. But now that I have more employees, now to be able to grow, I now have to market. So, um, a lot of times for a long time it was word of mouth, and now it's looking for places. I mean, of course, I've partnered with Duet, so they've opened my eyes to a lot of things that I didn't think of before.
Oh, I
And of
love that.
course,
Like what?
yeah, like the Google reviews.
Hmm.
How important your internet footprint is, and how that is just the way the 21st century is now, and how people search for whether you're a good provider or not, and how important that is. So I find myself looking myself up a lot to
Yes,
make sure I have good Google reviews.
absolutely.
Using social media.
Yes.
I am becoming better and better at it, and marketing, videos and creating using Canva. I've discovered Canva. So putting out,
Better late
posters
than
and
never,
flyers.
sis.
Yes, yes, yeah. So those are ways always looking for, because I'm still small. I'm still a small business. So I don't have an exuberant marketing budget. So still being very creative about how to market on a very small
You,
marketing budget.
I'm glad you brought that up because I think people say the word marketing, but I don't think what you're describing is actually marketing. I think what you're describing, and if I may, this is how I see it. It's just like we make the waiting room look really nice and the exterior look really nice. It's not necessarily that your Google is going to reach 1 million people or that your Instagram is going to reach 1 million people. But when people hear about you, they need to see that you're real. And the way people see you're real is the Google reviews, that you have an Instagram, that you have a pretty decent website. So it's not that you have to spend all this money to necessarily get the patients.
Right.
but you have to spend a little bit of time. This is an extension of your waiting room. This is the virtual waiting room. This is the virtual entrance. This is what it looks like. So I think it's important, but we don't have to go crazy or spend a lot of money to like get a social media team to make it because
Right.
we're not conquering Instagram. That's not how we're going to get our patients.
Right.
And I think it's important to like calm down the stress around it
Mm-hmm.
and the expenditure on it. So I like how you did that. But I imagine though it's still word of mouth. And then what else? Do you use ZocDoc? Like how else do people know about you?
I use a program called Hilo, so they can and anything to make it easier for the patient, reach us by we have a patient portal. We use
What's Hilo?
Hilo is an online appointment scheduler that is
Mm.
integrated into my EMR. And so they you can put the link in the social medias, post, you
Mm.
can put them wherever, and it directly links them to make an appointment with me. Here's my schedule. Um
Tell everyone how to spell Hilo who wants to find it.
HEALOW.
Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So you put it on your links and everything so people can
Mm-hmm.
find it and they can and make an appointment together.
Mm-hmm.
And like on their own, I mean.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Love that so much.
Yeah.
And does that help you get patients?
It does. Um I think it's the combination of everything together that helps. And even putting on, like, there's programs, in the communities around here, like Nextdoor, and having pages on those different
Yes.
communities, always
Yes.
looking for groups on Facebook, Ormond Beach, community, and then the surrounding towns. We have Daytona Beach and we have Flagler Beach, and all of these different areas that are just slightly outside our city that I try to outreach that far out and say, come see me here too. So I do have people that do travel even as far as
Of
Orlando, which is
course.
an hour
I
and a
would travel
half.
to see you,
So,
Stephanie Sanchez.
thank you.
Amazing. So how many people do you have working for you right now?
I have about 10 people.
Uh-huh. So is it two
And
NPs or
yes, we have two NPs, and we each have a nursing assistant, because we call them nursing assistants, not medical assistants.
love that?
And then I have an IT medical records, and then I have a referrals coordinator, and I have one person up front. Then I have an office manager. I have a remote biller,
Nice.
and then I've just learning from Duet and from you. I've just hired a remote scheduler. Um,
Amazing.
so just if anybody, it was an eye-opening thing to me. I was like, I need another support person. Like, in all of my business analytics and information, I was seeing this gap that we weren't answering the phones enough. We were only doing it 50%. And with a small team, that's kind of hard. And that you might miss opportunity to get new patients in and stuff like that. So, and because we have two NPs, rapidly getting people on the schedule and filling that schedule is a priority of mine here recently. But
Yeah.
we don't have the overhead to kind of buy a whole FTE. So this provided a solution that we can share this person with other practices, and they can remotely. I mean, you don't need to be in office to make patient calls. And
Oh, I have 10 people who work offshore.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I have
so
six
that
people
was
in office and 10 people offshore.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
It's
definitely the
it's
way to
being
go.
smart.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, yeah.
My God, I love this so much. And so, how many patients do you see a day?
We see anywhere between 16 and 20 patients a day. Just depends on what the schedule looks like and what's been put on it. If we're doing Medicare annual wellness visits, we're seeing less patients because I block that for 45 minutes.
Mm,
That's a time to, close any gaps in care, to really a time for the patient and the provider to get to know each other, what's been going on, addressing all the chronic conditions. It's the one time a year that you're touching everything about them and making sure everything
love,
is what it
love.
needs to be. And in order to do that and financially sustain, you have to figure out other ways to support your practice,
Like what? Tell us more.
like diversifying and doing other service lines. So yeah, so I do a couple of different things.
Tell us,
Uh,
share your wisdom.
So yeah, that's like the biggest thing is that was an eye opener for me. Like when I got into it, I was like, oh my God, you can't sustain a medical practice on just insurance-based income. It's just not a reality. It's not sustainable. So the very first one I did was weight loss, and it was more of a package service deal. So it's, what we do best is nursing, counseling, and nutrition and all of that. You package it with a medication that'll help. I do GLP-1s. I started learning about peptide therapy, and that was the first one I chose
Yeah.
to utilize, and offered this service line as a package, and it really, really took off. Like, and here I am, 3 and 4 years later, and it's still one of my number one attention drawers that people come from very far. I mean, I have some patients that fly from other states to come down here for this
What do
package.
you charge for a package?
Um, I use both tirzepatide and semaglutide,
Mm-hmm.
and they are compounded with other things, to, vitamins and things of that nature. For tirzepatide, we start at 375
Amazing.
for a month. So, and then for semaglutide, that can start as low as 125 a month.
That's with the medication.
That's with the medication. It's
Oh, because in
I'm a
Florida
big
you can do that. In New York, you can't
yeah,
be the
and
one to provide the medication.
yeah, and I don't know, all the service lines, and I have another one I just started too. I like doing it as a package. Like, it's easier on my end and the business side, you know,
Like the visit and the meds. That's what you mean by
right,
that's what you mean.
everything. You get everything you need to provide you with the outcome you're expecting. Instead of just, nickeling and diming everything. Oh, you need an EKG for this. You need
Right, right.
extra, it's $10 here for that. You need a B12, it's another $45 for a shot, blah, 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 blah. It's like whatever you need. And it ends up working out in the end because
Of
some
course, of
patients
course.
don't need as much and other patients need, and you have to price it to what you have to as for overhead for supply and stuff. But it all works out in the end, and you have happy customers.
Yeah,
That's the best thing. So
that's the best thing.
yeah, yeah,
I love that. So you have that, the weight loss as a service. Any other
yeah.
service lines you do?
And so I have an aesthetics.
Mm,
I'm doing some, um I'm not doing fillers, but I'm doing some different types of, botulism, Botox and Exumin, and I'm actually in my treatment room right now.
nice.
Um, so and more peptide therapy, HRT. So all of these different things. Oh, and I am in school, going to be getting my PhD and my doctorate in integrative medicine. And so
Nice.
when that's done, we'll see what other service
Nice.
lines
Where are
I
you
had.
doing it?
Quantum University.
Hello, fellow
I
mom.
I know, I know. I love it. I love it.
I mean,
I have to just say two things about it. I love it because it fits in my lifestyle.
yes,
There is no pressure,
no pressure.
no
Get it done when
pressure
you get
what's
it done.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm a driven person, so it's not like I'm not gonna do it. I
I
don't
got
need
I
somebody.
got it I got it done fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
And
I'm
I
loving it.
wrote the coolest thesis. I really enjoyed writing the thesis for that.
Oh yeah. You're gonna have to send it to me because
I'll
I
send it
wanna,
to you.
yeah, send
I'll
it to
send
me.
it to you.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it was cool. And you'll find, I imagine you'll find, I discovered something in my own patients. At the time I was doing functional medicine. I discovered
Hmm.
some of my own patients and then I had all the data I needed for it. So you're already doing all the stuff. You just have to put together in a report.
Yeah.
It's great. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, you knew I was a quantum because you saw my bio.
I did. I
Okay.
did. I saw
Amazing.
your bio. I was like, oh my God, look where she's going.
That's amazing. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, okay. So different service lines. That's great.
Hmm.
And what would you say like is a differentiator of your practice?
That I'm an NP. Believe
Mm,
it or not, we get sucked into our own, like, everybody knows who we are. We've been around forever, but they don't. the common person doesn't
Yeah.
know
Yeah, you're right.
the difference between an NP and a physician and what they can what because I get that question all the time. Well, what
Yeah.
makes you different? What do you do
Yeah.
differently? And you and I, being that we've been through the school, we know the difference. You know, the holistic, the education, the being the patient advocate, the way that we were trained to think and to address health conditions is vastly different from what the physician offices around here are offering.
Mm.
Um, and I'm excited about the landscape going forward because it seems like, and although it's a very slow process to change culture, it seems like that those that are the decision makers under the whole insurance, Medicare, Medicaid umbrella is starting to get it. Like they've looked at the data, they see the United States. We spend the most money in healthcare, yet we
Terrible
have the
outcome.
poorest outcomes.
Terrible
Like
outcome.
we're not making
For the amount we
difference.
spend, we should not
Yeah,
have these outcomes. Agreed.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And so looking at and recreating how we do healthcare is on the horizon, and they're trying to build um, a pathway for everyone through value-based care models and reimbursement models, which I think is smart because it it puts value. They're trying to put value into what you're getting out of your providers.
Yes.
You know, having someone walk in for 5 minutes because is more important to be able to drive the bottom dollar and make, uh, keep the lights on, it makes sense that a business owner would do, 20 patients in 1 hour. Just the person who's making the money under their NPI or their license number, yeah, just go in that room for 5 minutes, go in that room for 5 minutes, just hand them a prescription.
But
You're
it's
going to
not
get
even
paid.
out of malice. It's just because the
No.
reimbursement's so low.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Right. And why should you spend the time with the patient to teach them and engage them and partner with them when you're going to get the same money if you do 5 minutes or 20 minutes?
Right. Value-based definitely changed that. Change it.
Value-based definitely changed that.
I agree.
And I think the value-based models really mimic the nursing model.
Mm,
So it's
interesting.
very easy for
Interesting.
a nurse practitioner to understand and to embrace value-based care model and structure. Um, I think it's just the natural
I like
progression.
that. It's a nice
Yeah,
progression. So
yeah.
as we head to the top of our hour, what do you want to tell our fellow NPs that maybe I forgot to ask you?
Mm, be patient with yourself.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah. You won't know everything, but you can find the answers. So lean really into resources and networking constantly.
Networking's big. I
Yeah.
agree.
Even connections outside your field can lead
Mm,
to an unexpected opportunity that helps your practice grow.
I
So
agree.
never underestimate where a conversation can take you.
Yeah, I agree so much on that. Just
Yeah.
talk to people. You
Yeah.
never know where it's going to take you. I love that
Yeah.
so much. Oh
Yeah.
my God. Stephanie Sanchez, you're amazing.
You're amazing, Dr. E. You're
Thank you.
amazing.
For those of you listening, you should come to the Florida
As associate
FLANP
okay.
Association
Next
Halloween
practice.
party, aka it's a convention also, but it's also a Halloween party.
Yeah.
Um,
You know what it is?
what is it?
It's our inaugural business boot camp.
It's the inaugural business boot camp. Tell us the dates, please.
It's October 31st and November 1st in Orlando, Florida, in the Disney World capital. And so we are going to have a Halloween party and networking party. It's going to be so much fun that night. But anybody that comes, it's going to you're going to walk away with the whole kit and caboodle and your tools to start your own practice. If
Yes.
you've ever Googled how to start a practice, this is the conference for you because we have workshops of how to build a budget, how to build a business plan, and how to code and bill. So
Amazing.
it's one-stop shopping.
One stop shop. And I will be there.
Yes, and you will be there. And anybody that wants to register, just go to www.flamp.org and click on boot camp, and there you go.
Amazing. Stephanie Sanchez, thank you for being on the Duet podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Well, that's a wrap for today's episode of Unsung. If this inspired you, share it with another NP who needs to hear it. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. It helps more NPs find us and fuels the movement. If you want to join the largest NP practice network and learn more about Duet on our website, joinduet.com. Until next time, keep pushing boundaries and proving what NPs can do.